Imagine locking eyes with yourself, but it isn't quite you. The features are the same, yet something feels disturbingly off. Across cultures and centuries, people have described encounters with their doppelgangers, figures that look exactly like them but seem to herald danger, tragedy, or even death. Tonight, we'll uncover chilling real-life accounts of these shadow selves. What you're about to hear might make you think twice about looking in the mirror. Welcome to Echoes in the Dark. Martha was a dedicated teacher at a small Kansas school. One rainy evening, as she prepared to leave after grading papers, she noticed a figure staring at her through the classroom window. But as the figure moved closer to the glass, her breath caught. It was her, the same blue cardigan, the same brown curls, but the expression was empty, void of warmth or humanity. She stood frozen, unable to break eye contact as the doppelganger raised its hand, mimicking her. Suddenly, it turned and disappeared into the shadows. Over the next few days, Martha was plagued by inexplicable bad luck, tripping on stairs, misplacing her belongings, and finally, a devastating car crash that left her bedridden for months. Reflecting from her hospital bed, she couldn't shake the feeling that the figure had been a warning, but from whom or what, she could never say. David worked in a high-tech office building in Berlin. He was used to the monotony of the morning routine, coffee, emails, and brief exchanges with colleagues. One morning, he greeted Julia, his co-worker, as she walked past his desk. She didn't respond, which was strange but not entirely unusual. Later that day, Julia approached him, looking pale. "Why didn't you answer my text this morning?" she asked. Confused, David told her he'd seen her in the office earlier. Julia's face turned ashen as she revealed that she hadn't arrived until hours later. Even stranger, the office's security cameras showed Julia hadn't been anywhere near David's desk that morning. Julia became withdrawn after the incident, convinced her doppelganger was following her. A string of inexplicable illnesses soon led her to leave the company. David still wonders if what he saw was truly her, or something else entirely. Seven-year-old Ethan was a spirited, adventurous child. During a family camping trip in the dense forests of Montana, he wandered off to chase a butterfly. When his parents found him minutes later, he was holding hands with a boy who looked exactly like him but with disturbingly pale skin and black, depthless eyes. When his mother screamed, the strange boy released Ethan's hand and darted into the trees, vanishing without a sound. Ethan grew quiet and withdrawn, plagued by nightmares of his other self, luring him deeper into the forest. Years later, Ethan confessed to his parents that the boy had whispered something to him before disappearing. "Come with me, and you'll never be alone again." Sophia was an art student living in a tiny Italian apartment. She loved painting late into the night, her easel set up next to a large antique mirror. One night, while brushing her hair before bed, she noticed her reflection behaving oddly. It smiled at her, only she wasn't smiling. Sophia froze, her heart pounding, as her reflection reached out toward her. The hand seemed to push against the glass, rippling the surface as though it were water. She stumbled backward, knocking over a lamp. When she looked again, her reflection was normal, but the unease lingered. The next day, Sophia learned her closest friend had been killed in a car accident at the exact time of her encounter. To this day, she avoids mirrors after dark, fearing her doppelganger might return with more bad news. In In a small Argentine village, Edgar, a retired farmer, spent his evenings on his porch, rocking gently as the sun set. One night he saw his wife Clara sitting on the swing. He smiled and called out to her, but she didn't respond. As he moved closer, the figure turned to him and smiled, a chilling, predatory grin that didn't belong to his sweet Clara. Terrified, Edgar rushed inside to find his real wife asleep in their bedroom. That same night, Clara passed away peacefully in her sleep. Edgar is convinced the figure on the porch was a harbinger of her death. A shadowy double comes to claim her soul. These stories, though varied in detail, share an unsettling commonality: the presence of a double, a shadow self, often preceding misfortune. But what are these entities? Skeptics argue they're the result of stress, hallucinations, or misremembered events. Others suggest they're supernatural warnings, protective spirits, or even beings from parallel dimensions. Ancient lore paints doppelgängers as omens of death, beings that signify your time is near. Modern theorists wonder if they could be glitches in reality, evidence of overlapping dimensions where versions of ourselves occasionally break through. Could they be us from another timeline trying to intervene, or warning us to stay away? Whatever the truth, one thing is certain: the idea of seeing yourself, uninvited and unexplainable, strikes a primal chord in all of us. Perhaps the most unsettling thought is this: what if the doppelganger isn't just a shadow of you? What if it's the real you, and you're the reflection? Would you recognize yourself if you met your double? Would you dare to ask it why it's here? Let us know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. And remember, if you ever see your double staring back at you, think twice before making the first move. Some mysteries are better left unanswered.